Hello, stampers, crafters, friends. I was going to go live today. Excuse me, have a frog. And it seems to always appear when I am getting ready to do my live video. I'm just trying to find my video. Okay, I think we're ready to go. This is the Lovely Arrangements stamp set, and we're going to make our last two cards. This is from the January online exclusives, and it's called Lovely Blossom Sweet Collection, meaning it has a lot of products with it. So you get this stamp set, this very cool die set, and of course the dies will cut out some of these stamped images on the front, plus you get some focal point images that you can cut out to use on your cards. It comes also with this lovely stripes embossing folder, which I have used on one of the cards that we're going to do today. And it's very cool. It's got little dots and then the corrugated lines. And when you're cutting paper to emboss with this 3D embossing folder, cut your the height, if you're going to use it, this way, a little bit longer, because this is going to draw up your paper just a little bit. So that would be one of my tips. And then this is the paper that we're using. This was our one sheet wonder. We're using this whole sheet, and we've done, this was part 1 in the series. This strip was part 2 in the series, sorry. And this last strip, which we're going to use today, these 2-inch blocks, we're going to use to make 2 cards. So our series made 8 cards, just using these as our card fronts. And this, be sure to go to my blog, franklystamping.com, and it has a downloadable printable project sheet that gives you a list of the supplies and instructions, measurements, etc. And then just a note on part 2 and part 3 project sheets, I did not list the whole sheet of products that I used. Oh, hold on, I've got to turn the volume of that off. So to get your list of supplies, go to part 1 in the blog, and that's got the whole list of all of the things that I used to put the 8 cards together. So it's got each card, the measurements, instructions, and then part 1 has your list of all the supplies. And this is the strip that we're going to use today, and we just simply put this in our trimmer and we cut each one of these blocks off. And then this one, because I was kind of doing the blues, I did not use this one. I flipped it over and used the ticking, like pillow ticking, old-fashioned pillow ticking is what that reminded me of. And that's cloud cover. So, and then the last 2 things that were in that suite is this beautiful cloud cover, what is it called? Cloud cover textured ribbon. And which you can see I've already been using these. And this is my second package. I've already gone through a whole package. Moody Palette Glossy Dots, and I love these colors. So let's get started and put our last 2 cards together. And we're going to use Secret C for our ink. Okay, this is our first card. Sorry, I got my pieces separated there. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, and you'll see that when I made this, I accidentally pulled, I had Secret Sea and Night of Navy cardstock both on my cutting surface, and I accidentally grabbed the wrong one. This is the Night of Navy, but you can see that it brings a little bit of brightness to it actually. So that still worked. I think it still looked fine. But we are going to use the Secret Sea today. So let's first stamp. Let's do our inside first. And we just did Sending Smiles and one of the little flowers at the bottom. And I don't know what flower this is supposed to be. It kind of reminds me of one of the peonies that I had in my yard that only had the few petals, not the one that has, you know, dozens of petals. But that's what it reminds me of. Or isn't there a flower called an anemone maybe that has those kinds of petals? I don't know, but I meant to look it up and I forgot. Okay, we're going to slap that on our block. Get our ink pad. And we're just going to stamp this little flower on the bottom. I only need one sheet of paper here if I can get it apart. Don't rock your stamp, straight up, straight down. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. Grab another block. Most of my blocks are in a little tub for another project that I'm working on. That's what I do as I'm putting a project together. I get these little, and I would show, well, I'll show you. These little plastic tubs and put all of my project things in it for that particular card. Okay, I wanted Sending Smiles. I don't like the way that, and usually just lay your photopolymer stamp down on your surface and then pick it up with your stamp. And if you want to concentrate more on the stamp instead of where you are on the block, I put it on at an angle like this. And let me see if I can pull this down in front of me without sticking my head under the camera. See if I can get it straight. Try to line this up with the lines on my grid there. Okay, Sending Smiles. Set this aside. Okay, now let's go ahead and put that on the inside of our card. I'm gonna close that for just a second. You don't really need a lot of glue or adhesive because there's no, there's nothing pulling, or it's not going to catch on anything. So you really don't need a whole lot just to put your inside panel. And that glue gives us a little time to move that because I got it crooked. And it's still crooked. Okay, now we're gonna use our bone folder and give that a nice crease. So that'll lay nice and flat. And then we're gonna put our front together. Now, I'm not going to put this on my card base yet. I'm going to wait because I want to wrap a ribbon around it. So I have to put this together first, then put my ribbon on. So I'm going to set my card base aside. And then let's take our squares. These are 2-inch squares. And there really was no rhyme or reason. I put this square down first and then adjusted these pieces so that they, you know, everything lined up here with a straight line. And I'm going to use my little T-square just to get my angle straight. And you don't have to do this, but I wanted, I feel like if I get this straight, then I don't have to worry about my other ones being straight. And I'm going to leave just a little border on the side. These cards are fast, simple. Oh, look at that. Didn't even need the T-square. I got that straight. Okay, then we're going to take our next piece. Don't get your glue too close to your edge. If you need glue at the corner, just drag it. Put a little here and then just drag it. Now this one, I'm going to line up about there. And then this one. And see, I'm just lining it up with the edge of the paper here. That's about the same. Hold that for just a second. Okay. Now I'm going to put my ribbon on. Now I want my ribbon, Secret C ribbon, I want to go across this middle piece. So I'm going to kind of hold this in place. About like that. And flip it over. And then I'm going to use my seal to put, okay, I'm going to pick this back up and bring it over. These are my ribbon scissors. I mark them with a little piece of ribbon. So I'm not cutting paper with them, which dulls your blades. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to take, I think I'll put this on my card base first. Like I said, don't need a lot. Just kind of do a little dab down each side. Maybe a little dab in the middle. Make sure I get this right side up. Okay, let's put this in the middle of this. And you can always, I mean, use, like, I could have used a piece of old olive behind this and made the white just a teeny bit smaller, and that would have elevated the look a little bit. And then we're going to put, and I've already stamped this just for time. This is the die out of the Stamp and Die set. So we're just going to put this on some dimensionals. Where's my big dimensionals? And when you get to the end of your dimensionals, don't, like it's like this, and you got this border, don't throw this away. You just cut these. So you can see where I cut a piece out of the bottom here. Just take your scissors and just trim little pieces all along, and then you'll have, sometimes you just need a straight piece, and this end is great for that. Okay, we're going to attach this on top of our ribbon. Then we will add our bow, faux bow, fake bow. Sorry, I think I hit the camera. And then we're just going to stick this under there. And if you want to anchor this, you can stick a glue dot under it. I have not really found that necessary, but I love this ribbon. It's kind of stiff, which that's okay. And then my ribbon will kind of lay over my greeting just a little bit. Okay. Here's our ribbon. And then our green, old olive. I always want to call it olive green. I'm not sure why. And that just started recently. So let's put some jewels on here. And generally they suggest you use, no, I don't want that straight across. So let's put this down a little bit. I think that's the hardest part, is figuring out where you want to put your embellishments. And I pulled that piece of paper off, so let's leave it on there. And then we'll put one down here. And there is our card. Fast and simple. Okay, now let's go on to our second card in our series. Now this one, we're going to go the pastel route. And this is petal pink and cloud cover. And look at that fluffy, beautiful, shiny ribbon. And I mean, this would make a great shower card, or like a wedding shower, or a baby card, baby shower. It's just beautiful. And then I did not put my greeting in here because I wasn't sure what I wanted to use it for yet. So I did not put a greeting on the inside. So we're just going to use basic white as our card base. And this is 11 inches tall. And half of 11 is 5.5. So 5.5 is where we're going to score it. And then this way it is 4.25. So, and then we're going to put down our cloud cover layer. And this is cut to, we took 1/4 of an inch off. So that's 4.25. I mean 4 by 5.25. 4 by 5.25. Because your standard card base US measurements is 4.25 by 5.5 surface wise. Okay, now let's get this centered. Glue gives us a little time to wiggle that around to where we want it. And then we're going to add our embossed panel. And you can see where this is the deboss side, which I used the emboss side on this one. See where the little dots are sticking up? I don't know if you can see that. And then today I'm going to use the deboss side where the dots are going down. Just a little bit of difference. Now I do use more glue when I'm putting on an embossed panel, or when I'm gluing something onto an embossed panel. I love how Stampin' Up! Has made, see how this is just a little, I probably could have cut this panel a little bit longer because it did shrink it up just a little bit. I've got, see, my border on the side. This is just a little more, but it's fine. It is absolutely fine. Okay, now this piece on this card, we're going to shoot. I forgot to put my ribbon around that panel. Don't know. Well, I can still pull that off, so that's fine. Okay, let's put, where's our ribbon? Let's pull our ribbon out. And put this back. I may need some more glue on there. That's the one thing I am terrible about, is forgetting to put my ribbon down before I add my layer. I mean, some people just wrap it around the whole card base, but I don't necessarily want mine to show on the inside. Okay, so I have plenty of ribbon here. And let's put this one down. Use a little more glue than normal. And I'm going to put this in the center. I'm taking it all the way to the top of my embossed panel. And where's my other square? There it is. Can't see the forest for the trees. Yeah, I could have used this brown piece and then my pink. But I just wanted the blue. And I have some more cards coming up that I'm working on that also use this. And you can kind of use these lines, like to line up your points. Okay, now let's tie our bow. Can't believe I'm going to try to tie this on video, but I pulled this over to the side here. And then I have these little tweezers, I guess you call them, that come in the embossing kit, like heat embossing kit. And it works great for when you want to try to hold that so you can tie your bow. Let me unwrinkle my ribbon first. Because usually I'm tying faux bows, or I'm using my little bow jig to tie my bow and put it on. I don't usually wrap it all the way around and then attempt to tie a bow. I don't like the way that looked. Okay, that's better. Now we're just going to fluff this up before I let go of the tweezers here. And I just want it kind of fluffy. Straighten out the middle of my bow there. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this. Whoops. I think I got that one just a little too angled. Okay, and then I'll save that for another piece. I can easily use that to wrap that around a card and then add my faux bow, so I'm not wasting any ribbon. Okay, now we're going to put our last piece on, and we're going to put it on with dimensionals. missing my little pink piece. And I don't know what I did with it, so I'll just have to cut another piece. I'm going to pull this over just a little bit, pull my ribbon over and put this about there. Oops, move that over a little bit. And one over here on this corner. And like I said, you can put a little glue dot under here if you feel like you need to. Okay, now, this is my little die cut piece out of this die set. And then let me get, I think I trimmed that, but let me grab my petal pink cardstock. And we will just cut a piece. And I'll just stamp that and glue it on, and then we'll trim that. And we're going to use just a note. And my slim, let's see if I can get it on this one. Okay, secret C. Get this down here where I can see it. Line it up with my grid on my glass mat. These are available in the Stampin' Up! Store. Line up one end and the other. Okay, I'm going to trim this a little bit. Okay, now we're going to glue this on our cardstock. And let's see, I only want a little piece showing. Well, I'm going to trim this first. Oh, and I found my little piece. It was in my lap. So I don't have to cut a piece. And then for, to make the V in the end of your cardstock, you can either, and I'll show you both because I'm going to trim this off anyway. You just cut up the middle here and take your scissors and you cut from the corner to that little mark, and from this corner to that mark. And then you get your little V banner tag like that. But I am going to experiment with your punches. Like this one, I'm just going to use the little top of this, and it's just going to make kind of a little rounded end on it. I do have one that's pointy, but I like this rounded one. Now let me see how much I need to trim off of here. Let's glue this on real quick. I feel kind of discombobulated today. My granddaughter was sick, has been home vomiting since Tuesday night. And every time she thinks she's feeling better, she gets something to eat and then starts getting sick again. So first thing this morning, we went to urgent care. Oh, that's my wrong scissors. Can't use my ribbon scissors. Okay, we're going to cut this about here. And then we're going to cut this. And if you're not sure, don't, cut closer to the end. Now see how you have a little bit of room. I can take a little bit more off of that. But if you go all the way in first, you can't trim it up. A little bit more. And I'm just centering that right here in that little bend. And I have I think it's called the tailored tag, that is got a pointy end on it. And that one is great if you want to use that one too. So experiment with your punches. You could also use a square punch to do it. And we're just going to glue this on the top. We're not going to pop this up because we already popped up this panel. And I think this was my favorite card, this pink. And we're going to use some of the cloud cover jewels. Still messing with this bow. Like I said, I'm not used to tying these bows on video, so. And that's not the kind of bow I usually use. I use the fake or the faux bow a lot. Okay, let's get a cloud cover up here. And maybe a cloud cover up here. And I'm going to add a few more than I did on the other one. Usually it's in odd numbers. Doesn't have to be, but that's just kind of pleasing to the eye. And then we'll add maybe one or two. We'll put two right there. Okay, guys, that is the last card that we made in our series. And just to recap, here are our other cards that we made. Close my ink pad. Here is card 1 and card 2 out of series 3. Fast, easy, 2-inch squares. Just line them up however you like. We did this one in kind of an arrow, and then this one we just centered and off that one to the side a little. And then here is, okay, that's series 3. Here is series 1. And I really would like to know which one you like the best. And then, okay, here's my doubles from when I made it. And this one, we flipped it up just a little bit. We put the greeting in the middle. And then here is part 2. This was the middle panel of that sheet. This one and this one. So we got 8 cards out of that one piece of designer paper, and then all we had to do was find our matching cardstock and cut our pieces and put it together. You can dress them up as much as you want or keep them as simple as you want. It's up to you. And like on this one, I did just use, I was making other cards, and so I did have this little scrap. But you could have easily taken a piece of your old olive cardstock and put that behind here instead of using the designer paper. And on this one I used, we could have gotten 9 cards, but I decided I wanted to use that extra panel. Let me grab the paper here. This panel, or this strip, is what the part 2 was made from, and I wanted to use this on the back of this, you know, as a layer for this. So we could have gotten 9 cards, and used like the green again there, and then we used a little wink of Stella to kind of give that a little shimmer and shine. So that's all. I think I showed you all of those. Or the last, where's the last ones? This one, and where's number 3? Oh, no, that's, I'm missing, oh, it's this one. This was part 2. So if you would please leave me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. I am trying to get my YouTube built up. I just started this recently, and I would love to have you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get a notification when I have posted a new video. And if you liked these cards, please consider sharing it with your friend. There's a share link there. And don't forget to go over to my blog, and you'll have the measurements and the instructions. I'm still going to trim that a little more. The measurement and the instructions there. See, I just keep fussing with my bows, and that needs a little bit more angle, I think. First I had too much, and then not enough. Okay, I'll leave it. And then I was still playing around with a card, a template from my friend, Backyard Stamper. I saw that she used a template, and I put together this card using her template, only I turned mine horizontal instead, or portrait instead of landscape. And this is all from the Lovely Blossom Suite. And I colored those with the petal pink, and then thought, well, I'm just going to leave that one blank. Just leave that one plain, uncolored. And I kind of liked it like that. And this is the die that is in that set. And I punched or die cut a piece of cardstock and then used that on top with a blending brush to just add a little bit of ink around the sides, and then added a few of those little, I don't know what, little decoration things. And I thought that turned out really pretty. So if you get the chance, go over to my friend Backyard Stamper's YouTube, give her a like and subscribe, and I'm sure that she would be glad to see you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.